going to tackle about the feminism in our country, the LGBTQ in our country, and the social movement in our country. So, imagine living in a world where you are not allowed to speak freely. You are not allowed to believe in your own religion or worship freely. Or you were sentenced to prison without due process of law. Imagine your home being searched without a warrant for no reason, and your property taken and you could not do anything about it. These are just some of the issues since many people faced and began to recognize they have rights to. When we hear about feminism, it comes up in our mind that it's only about for girls or for women, but it's not. Feminism means working towards achieving global gender equality. Everyone is born equal. Feminism is a complex set of ideologies and theories that at its core seeks to achieve equal social, political, and economic rights for men and women. Feminism refers to a diverse variety of beliefs, ideas, movements, and agendas for action. It refers to any actions, especially organized that promote changes in society to end patterns that have disadvantaged women. Feminism is about working against the system built to keep certain groups of people oppressed and striving towards equality for everyone. It means fighting for intersectionality and acknowledging how race, sexual orientation, and socioeconomic status affects feminism. People don't understand what the true meaning of feminism is, so they view it as something bad they need to avoid. I think feminism is one of those words people make judgments about because of what they hear through social media and other secondary sources. Most of the time, those sources can be misleading and do not provide a full picture. So to help combat that, I am going to address what the word feminism means. Feminism is the theory of the political, economical, and social equality of the sexes. In simpler terms, feminism is the fight for equality among the sexes in all aspects of life, because people are not aware of true meaning of the word feminism. For some reason, people think men who identify as feminists are against their own gender or less masculine. People take the fem prefix as a cue, only women are allowed to be feminist. And if you are a guy, it somehow makes you less manly, which is untrue. Feminism is not a war between the sexes. When a male is a feminist, it does not mean he thinks women are the dominant sex. It just means he advocates for equality, which is something I hope everyone would want. Feminism seeks to balance out in the powers in the world so people of all genders are on a level playing field, something that has yet to happen. Feminism is not a dirty word that should be hushed every time it is said. It is not something that should be swept under the rug and forgotten. It is something that should be taken seriously. Men and women deserve equal opportunities to advance in this world and to make their mark. If you are for gender equality, then chances are you are a feminist, and it is something you should be proud of. So the next time someone starts condemning feminism, kindly remind them what it really means to be a feminist. Around the world, people are under attack for who they love, how they dress, and ultimately for who they are. In too many countries, being lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or intersex, LGBTQ means living with daily discrimination. Everyone should be able to feel proud of who they are and who they love. We all have the right to express ourselves freely. We all have rights for everything that we do. In Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which set out for the first time the rights we're all entitled to, protects everyone's right to express themselves freely. Bringing an end to homophobia and transphobia will save lives. Anti-LGBTI harassment puts LGBTI identifying people at heightened risk of physical and psychological harm. Everyone has the right to life, freedom, and safety. By embracing LGBTI people and understanding their identities, we can learn how to remove many of the limitations imposed by gender stereotype. These stereotypes are damaging across society, defining and limiting how people are expected to live their lives. Removing them sets everyone free to achieve their full potential without discriminatory social constraints. LGBTI people, especially transgender and gender non-conforming people, are often at risk of economic and social exclusion, fighting for laws that are more inclusive of people regardless of their sexual orientation and gender identity, will allow them access to the rights to health, education, housing, and employment. We are committed to standing up to discrimination against LGBTI people around the world. We give recommendations to governments and other influential leaders in how to improve laws and protect people's rights regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity. After a global amnesty campaign, the highest court in Taiwan ruled that banning same-sex marriage was unconstitutional. In May 2019, Taiwan became the first country in Asia to recognize same-sex marriages. In other areas, our work has strongly influenced new laws in Greece, Denmark, and Norway that allow people to have their true gender legally recognized by the government. While there is no doubt that the LGBTI movement has made significant progress, there is still work to do. Amnesty helps activists around the world by producing resources on various issues that affect LGBTI people, such as an advocacy toolkit, and can be used to combat discrimination of this LGBTI. If you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love somebody else? With knowledge comes responsibility. And yes, the world may be harder on us minorities, but we have the ability to change it by meeting these obstacles head on. By working that much harder to be the person we are proud of. When we say screw it to the preconceived notions and societal norms that are placed upon us, we gain so much power and confidence, because trust me, that power and confidence is so much more attractive than conforming to what certain groups deem acceptable. Social movement, a loosely organized but sustained campaign in support of a social goal, typically either the implementation or the prevention of a change in society's structure or values. Although social movements differ in size, they are all essentially collective. That is, they result from the more or less spontaneous coming together of people whose relationships are not defined by rules and procedures, but who merely share a common outlook in society. Many social scientists have defined social movements in different contexts, yet all of them states that social movements are groups meant to bring social change. According to Bloomer, social movements are collective enterprise to establish a new order of life. Social movements are a collectivity which acts with some continuity to promote or resist a change in the society or a group of which it is a part. Social movements are called social because they intend to bring about change in the society, and movement because they have the capacity to mobilize or organize people, common interest, and goals. Social movements in the Philippines have existed since the Spanish period to combat different societal and political ills that have long plagued the country. Social movements are not only seen on the streets, but also in the virtual world through social media. Social movements have made a rapid increase in today's society. According to sociologist Charles Tilly, these movements were before the 18s. Social movements are always active and will continue to grow just as much as the media. Talking about the importance of social movements. Social movements might be attempting to create change. Feminist movement, resist change, anti-globalization movement, or to provide political voice to those who marginalize. Civil rights movement. Hence, some social movements create social change. Social movements perpetuate because there is need for change. There is always a need for societies to change. If social movement is for social change, why do we need change? Change itself has no intrinsic value, but it dictates the kind of society we live in. People have the right to express their opinions on certain topics freely. Every human being has the First Amendment right to the freedom of speech and press. Heraclitus once quoted that change is the only permanent thing in this world. All of us, even the blind and deaf, see the prevalent societal ills like inequality and injustice. Therefore, change is really essential.